Manchester United have just beaten Omonia 3-2 away in Cyprus in the best competition in Europe, the Europa League. Yet here we are. It's time for another reality check.
Between the lines.
Yes, my Between the Liners, welcome back to the show. Manchester United fans, if you're here, I'm sure you're not very happy. Rival fans, if you're here, I'm sure you're loving this. It's time for a reality check. We've just beaten Omonia 3-2 away in Cyprus. Before this game, I'd never heard of them in my life. They finished 7th in their league last season. How we are conceding 2 goals to this team, how we are making it such hard work to beat this team is a joke. Let's analyse the game, yeah, because I'm not happy at all. On the back of our 6-3 defeat to Manchester City, our rivals, embarrassing loss. We've just had, I've never even heard of an embarrassing win, but it was an embarrassing win. 3-2 to Omonia. Let's get into it. The starting lineup, first of all. Ten Hag's gone with a strong squad, clearly doesn't have any faith in our backups, wants to keep our momentum going, and we've let him down. The first team that are playing, obviously he's brought in Casemiro, which we've all cried out for basically. We all want him to get into form, play himself into form. We'll get into that later on Casemiro's performance. Starting lineup, Casemiro's in for McTominay. Ronaldo's in, trying to get him some goals. Sancho's playing again. Anthony's playing again. He's gone with the same back 5. Question marks. I didn't think De Gea was going to play. I thought he was going to give Dubravka an opportunity because if not now, then when? So I assume he's going with strong starting lineup, probably to try and guarantee us the points so we qualify and become top of the group. So he's gone with our strongest starting lineup. Scott McTominay had to pave the way for Casemiro, unfortunately. On the back of the Man City performance, probably made sense. Anyway, let's get straight into the negatives. I think the first half, and we'll take it before we conceded the goal, yeah? We're dominating possession. This is what we've needed. This is what we need to do because, especially in the Premier League, there's going to be times where we are going to dominate the ball, especially under Ten Hag's style of play and how we're trying to progress. This is exactly what we're going to be trying to do. And opposition like Omonia, they're going to be sitting back like they did for most of the game. Dominated the ball, fine. We'll go into negatives. We don't really create many chances, especially in recent times, especially after Ten Hag's come. We're trying to create more. In the last 18 months, we haven't really created a lot of chances in a lot of games. In the first 15, 20 minutes, we created 3-4 chances. Why do we always do this? We're so casual on the ball, so casual with our finishing. Anthony had a great chance, first of all, should have scored it, tried squaring it to Bruno. I think with Ronaldo on the pitch here, this happened a lot in this game, yeah, throughout the whole game. He's on 699 club goals. Everyone's trying to set him up to score. We saw it right in the last 5 minutes or last 2 minutes with Rashford as well, where he's tried to set up Ronaldo when he could have scored himself. Throughout the whole game, a constant theme is everyone's trying to set up Ronaldo just to let him score and get his 700th career goal. I think the pressure and the ego of playing around with Cristiano Ronaldo, with him on your team, it lies too heavily on the player's shoulders. Anthony, regardless, should have been scoring that first goal. Bruno had a chance as well, didn't bury it, he's hit the bar, was pretty jokes as well. I saw the defender headed the crossbar on the line. I've never seen that before. Anyway, he should have scored, went for the lob. It's just, we're not clinical enough, we're not punishing enough, we're not aggressive enough. It's just too lackluster. We're too casual. I heard the commentator say we're too lazy. I don't think it was lazy. I think the problem is with the players, they're too casual. They think, oh, it's Omonia, we're Manchester United. It's just too many egos. And I see even Anthony's a new signing, yeah? There was one point where he dribbled past the same left back quite a few times. And then the left back's kind of fouled him. Wasn't even the harshest of fouls. Anthony's got up and he's asking for the yellow card. I don't like that. I just feel like just because you play for Manchester United, you got the freshest trims, the freshest garms, the freshest drip. You think you're just going to turn up in a match and win the game. It doesn't work like that. We need more aggressiveness, and Anthony kind of has that a little, but the rest of the team, especially like Sancho, for example, where was he again? Where was Jadon Sancho in this game? I saw him have one dribble in the first half. Didn't see him do anything other than that. And even in that dribble, he got the ball, maybe did a little step over, did a little turn, passed it backwards. It's just not good enough. And even Malacia in that first half, his end product is starting to be heavily into... His end product needs to start getting criticised because every time he get... Fair enough to the kid, yeah. I keep calling him a kid. He's 23 or something. Fair enough to Malacia. His drive intensity is what we require and is what we've needed. His end product has been so poor. Every time he gets to the byline and overlaps, he overlaps well, but his end product is so poor. I never see him find a man, which even brings me on to Luke Shaw. When he came on in the second half, a bit more attacking impetus, but still his final delivery isn't good enough. He's never finding a man. And part of that is down to potentially Ronaldo, who's not in the right position in the box. Obviously, he's getting a bit older. He's a bit slower to get into the right positions. And partly has to be down to Luke Shaw. It's very rare for him to find a man when he gets into good position. More negatives on the game. We'll take it to the first half. Why is it every single time we concede a goal, our heads drop and we're always panicking? We're playing a team that finished 7th last season in Cyprus. And like, no disrespect to them because they played all right, to be honest. Like, they actually did well. They had us under pressure at certain times. But I don't know where Cyprus are in terms of the top leagues in Europe. I doubt it's that high. They finished 7th in Cyprus last season and we're letting them within a chance of winning the game or even getting points from the game. It's just not good enough. We should be punishing teams like this. I saw that starting lineup and I thought it should have been minimum 3-0 to United at the end of the game. How have we come away at half-time losing 1-0? I just think Ronaldo playing as well, he just looked too greedy today. He was too eager to score goals, to score a goal at least anyway. Just kind of unbalances the team a little when he's playing. It's weird. I still think that, I'm not saying he's a problem. If we were set up properly and could attack properly and actually created chances for him, he'd still bag goals. He still look like a better player than we make him out to be. But because we're not good enough in terms of creating chances, he feels like he has to drop deeper and has to try and impact the game. And it's just not working at the moment. The balance is all off. And looking back to the goal that we conceded, look, Malacia was obviously poor, yeah? He's giving it away, it's poor. But after that, where are the rest of the players? How do Omonia have more determination to get back to the other end and score, to our end and score, than our defenders or midfielders have energy and desire to get back and defend? Why is it even a question? Why is it even possible for that to happen? We shouldn't be letting that happen. Like, the quickest player I saw get back was Christian Eriksen. Where's our CDM? I thought personally Casemiro was the one that was meant to be sitting back from the corners. Where was Casemiro? And like, why am I just seeing Malacia and Eriksen getting back? There needs to be more desire, and fair play to them because it was a well-taken goal. The guy that dribbled past, carried it on from Malacia. It was a great pass to whoever scored the goal as well. Good first touch from that guy. Scored it straight into the first corner. Into the top corner, sorry. Was a good goal to them, fair enough. But it's just lack of work ethic, lack of work rate to get back, lack of desire. And it's just a huge concern. Things we've seen from the team in the last 18 months always seems to creep into this team. And then once we conceded, PTSD from going down in all the other games in the last 18 months especially. We just give in, heads drop. End of the first half, I was glad to see the end of it. Needed a half-time whistle, and they clearly needed a bollocking from Ten Hag. And I hope he gave them one. They came out a lot sharper in the second half. So, yeah, obviously whatever Ten Hag said worked. Brought on Luke Shaw, brought on Rashford. Look, Ten Hag, I'm surprised he even started Sancho today. And I feel like he keeps playing Sancho because he wants to give him a chance. And Sancho's not repaying his faith in the manager. Rashford came on and genuinely within the first 5, I think he scored in the first 5 minutes. Another negative, yeah? Christian Eriksen was poor in that first half. I don't know what's gotten into him the last 2 games, but his first half of the last 2 games, he looks so poor, looks so out of fitness, looks off the pace, kept giving the ball away as well. I don't know what's happened to him. Last 2 first halves especially. Bruno was non-existent pretty much until he got an assist for the second goal. All right, we'll take it into the positives, yeah? Marcus Rashford, when he come on, this was by far his sharpest game I've seen him play in at least the last 18 months or 2 years. Yes, it was poor opposition. Yes, they're not the highest caliber of teams, but this is the sharpest I've seen Marcus play individually as a player. And look, he took his goal well. First touch wasn't the greatest, but he finessed it into the bottom corner. I thought he was going to blast it or lace it or knuckleball it. He's actually finessed it with a bit of composure. Looks quite mature when he played today. Like I like that a lot about him. and Martial comes on. Look, Martial is clearly coming for a place in that starting lineup. Every time he's coming on, he's looking vibrant, he's looking energetic, he's working hard. He came on for Bruno, played in the 10 for a bit, played off Ronaldo. Hold up play, wasn't that bad. Got a fine goal. Moved out onto the left for a little for the goal. Worked well with Rashford. Another positive, yeah? And that the Martial goal came from another thing that is consistent with Martinez. Yes, he's conceded 2 goals today. Martinez, he's so consistent at his passes through the lines. Drills it into the forwards, drills it into the midfielders, straight through a midfield defence, straight through the midfield lines of the opposition team. More often than not, he finds our players, and he's so consistent, and that's how we're going to be dangerous with Martinez in our team. We need to keep utilising that. I think the midfield and the strikers need to clock onto that more and keep dropping into little gaps for Martinez to find them. So that's how we scored our second goal with Martial. Good work by Rashford, little flick. Martial and Rashford link up. Something we need to work on further, and they seem to play well together. Whenever them two play well, we usually win. That Martial and Rashford link up, something we need to work on. Sancho needs to hold the bench for a bit, I think. I think what I liked about Martial the most was when he come on, he looked direct, aggressive, tried to take on players, tried to go for goal. And unfortunately, Sancho's just not providing 20-30% of what Martial is providing right now in a shorter space of time. Another positive of the game, or of the second half at least, was Rashford's instincts to get his goal, his second goal. Ronaldo acting like he meant that shot or cross or whatever it was. Rashford, great striker instincts, followed where the shot might have gone, managed to get a little tap in for himself. So yeah, like, once again on Rashford, great positive from him today. Very sharp. Sharpest I've seen him look in a long time. Look confident. Need him to keep it up. I think in the next game, we'll get onto the Everton prediction later, Everton preview later, but surely it's got to be Sancho on the bench, Rashford on the left, Martial up top, and I assume Anthony on the right. Anthony wasn't the most convincing today, showed little glimpses of technique. Still need him to do a bit more, need to be more direct. I think he needs to go down the outside a lot more. He cuts in a lot and then tries shooting. Crossing wasn't the greatest today, but still expecting a lot from Anthony. Anyway, conclusions for the game. We still conceded another one in the second half. Not going to lie to you lot, I kind of missed that one. My stream died out, so can't really talk much about that one. But still, to be conceded 2 goals to a team in Cyprus who finished 7th in the league last season, who didn't even look great today. Like, I'm not being funny, but a City or even a Liverpool or a Spurs or an Arsenal, I'm sure they're winning that game minimum 4-0, 4-1 at least. Like, how are we conceding 2 goals to them and only scoring 3? Ronaldo looked too desperate at the end. Couldn't even get a goal. Obviously hit the post when it was pretty much an open goal. Couple defenders on the line. Should have scored that from Dalot's pass. That's that game. Anyway, let's get into a bit of a reality check. So, we won 4 games in the Premier League on the bounce. Fine. We've then come to the City game. We got demolished. And no one expected us to beat City, so that's fine. What you don't expect is the manner of the collapse in the first half in both these games. There's one thing that links out of all the games we lost this season. Every time we concede first, we do not look like having a single chance of coming back. Obviously, we came back today against very poor opposition. But against City, for example, against Brighton, against Brentford, the second we concede first, we look like we're crumbling every single time. It's clear that the mentality in these players is not good enough. It's not strong enough. I just feel like a lot of them lack a clear football brain. And even goes back to like things like Rashford, for example. He had a great game today, fine, a great second half. But in terms of when to keep the ball, when to pass it back, when to drive forward, when to press, a lot of our players lack it so much around the pitch. And I think Bruno is a big part to play of this as well, especially if he's our captain. It's just, I don't think he's the smartest player on that pitch. So I'm very concerned. I feel like Martinez is probably one of the smarter ones. Casemiro, I'm hoping, is one of the smarter ones. To be honest, I forgot to talk about Casemiro in that first half as well, or throughout the game. Didn't really impress me that much. First half looked a bit shaky. Second half got the ball moving a little. I don't see how he's really like states his claim for a place in the starting lineup for Everton. I'm not sure about that. Won a few headers. Just didn't really impose himself on the game a lot. And he should be, realistically, especially of the team of this caliber. Look, let's get into a reality check, yeah? Question marks on the team. When we concede first, we don't look capable of really winning. I know we did today. But we don't look capable of playing well, especially when we concede first. Number 2, left wing slot is clearly up for debate. And for me, it's no debate. It should definitely be Rashford out on the left right now. Even Rashford's not been on the greatest form this season. He scored a few and got quite a few assists. Granted, today he played well against Omonia. But he's not really played well in his build-up play in other games, especially like the City game, for example. Did kind of rush back from injury, maybe. I don't know. But Rashford at his worst is doing so much more than Sancho at his current best right now. I just don't know what Sancho's best is. Does he dribble past the man? People keep telling me he's meant to be this link-up player, but I'm not really seeing it. I'm seeing better link-up play than from Rashford or even Ronaldo or Bruno or even Martial. And by the way, Martial went out onto the right today at the end of the game and he looked poor out there, so let's never do that again. Anyway, other than that, the left wing slot, the CDM position is clearly up for grabs. McTominay and Casemiro, Fred's kind of out of the picture at the moment. He's not really in with a shot. Didn't really do nothing today when he came on. Played okay against City, I thought, when he came on. So McTominay and Casemiro. I'm going to get into an Everton preview later, so I'm going to let you know what I think. But Casemiro still needs to step up to the plate a lot more. Can't say that he's guaranteed his position in the team for any future games as of yet, but hopefully he will. Looking at the defence, reality check is needed. Look, we've conceded 8 goals in the last 2 games, and that's our first team back 4. Obviously, Varane didn't play for 1.5 games, but or even including De Gea, out of the back 5, that's 4 out of our regular back 5, and we've conceded 8 goals. So something is very wrong there. If Varane's injury problems continue to cause us concerns, is Lindelof the right replacement? Is Maguire the right replacement? I don't see either of them being the right replacement. Lindelof's got a good pass in him, but he's not aggressive enough. Still gets taken on by players. Still gets bullied by players. I think a big reason as to why we concede so many goals isn't necessarily the defence. A lot of it is the midfield as well and the team as a whole. They don't help the defence. They don't help De Gea. The team's not set up completely right yet, or isn't capable of setting up completely right to keep a lot of clean sheets, unfortunately. Conceding 2 goals against Omonia today was very disappointing. So yeah, look, if Varane's injured, Maguire, Lindelof is a serious concern for me still. If Dalot gets an injury, what do we do then? Does Malacia play on the right? I don't really see how Malacia's almost guaranteed himself a place in this team yet. Like, yes, he's put in a few decent positions, but I don't see how he should be the guaranteed option on the right. I think Ten Hag's made one big mistake so far this season, yeah? And yes, Wan-Bissaka's not the greatest going forward, but the fact that he hasn't given him any minutes, not even tried to bed him in a little just in case Dalot gets an injury, I think that's going to harm us down the line. I don't want to see Lindelof down at right back. And Malacia might do okay at right back, fair enough. And then we got Shaw at left back. Did we just sign Malacia to replace Shaw? So we're relying on Shaw at left back again after we've just signed his replacement, just because we haven't got a backup right back. We've got a right back in the squad that we're not using. Start using Wan-Bissaka, get him up to pace, of some kind of pace, just in case we need to play him. It just doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, the final reality check I think we need, it's got to be the striker position. And I guess like a lot of you probably think it's not in doubt anymore. And I guess for me, it's probably not in doubt either. I'd like to say if we're set up properly and we're creating a lot of chances, I'd be very content with Ronaldo playing. Yes, today he showed that he's clearly coming to the end of his career rapidly, because against Omonia, he looked heavy-legged, couldn't really dribble past any players, didn't really have his shooting boots on either, weren't really linking up play. But a team that creates chances and has good final deliveries, good final balls from the byline, Ronaldo scoring goals guarantee it. But the way we're playing right now, the way Anthony Martial is playing right now, I think it's clear that he needs to start the next game. And from then onwards, he needs to be starting because his link-up play is good. He looks like he's getting into form, and he looks like he's as hungry as he's ever been. I've never seen him, especially against this Omonia game, I've never seen him run as hard as that, never seen him track back as hard as that. His shooting was ruthless. His passes on the ball was ruthless. It's the first time we've seen it from Anthony Martial in a long time. So far, in the minutes he's had, including pre-season and including the Liverpool game, he looks like he's, including the City game, Martial is slowly starting to revive himself, and I think he should be playing up front from now. Look, sorry man, it's getting hot in here, man. That was a pretty intense reality check slasher reaction for the Omonia game. I was just pretty pissed off by the way we played, man. Like 3-2 to Omonia is just not acceptable. Anyway, I'm going to get out a video on the Everton game, hopefully on the Friday. I'm going to try to upload this tonight on the Thursday. Can't guarantee when it's going to come out. Anyway, watch out for the match preview via Everton. I'll probably get out a reaction video. That's this Sunday, 7 p.m. kickoff for some reason. This has been a reality check, the third episode, third reality check of the season. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, get in the comments and let me know what you thought of this game, because genuinely I feel like so embarrassed. Like my blood's boiling right now. I haven't even had dinner yet because I just wanted to get this video up. Expected a lot better. I even said in a group chat before the game started, when I saw the starting lineup, I said we have to be winning this minimum 3-0. I think I said 3-0 or 4-0. And we've won the game 3-2, made it harder than it should have been. Anyway, this is the Between the Lines podcast. Thanks for watching the video. Subscribe. Check out the TikTok. It's blowing up. Check out the Insta. It's blowing up a little if you check out the views at least. The likes are blowing up on TikTok. The followers are blowing up at BTO Pods. I'm Adnan. I'm your host. Keep following the channel. Keep watching the videos. I'm going Old Trafford next week 3 times, by the way. Actually, 2 times next week, 1 time the week after. Watch out for the Old Trafford vlogs. This is the Between the Lines podcast. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Between the lines.